Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. I'm a little extra happy on today's side flick, and that is because we have some Friday the 13th news. And if you know anything going on with my boy Jason Voorhees, you know Friday the 13th news is really rare. Even gave me a good opportunity to show up my Friday the 13th pops. I thought y'all never see the light of day. But some of the stuff we're going to be diving into here today is, of course, yes, we have an update on the Friday the 13th reboot. One of the biggest and most credible updates that we've gotten in a long time. We're also going to be talking about the new live action Pokemon series that is in the works with Netflix, some details about the Exorcist and Blumhouse making a trilogy, that along with so much other movie news. So I'm gonna need you guys to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Are you excited whenever you hear some Friday the 13th news? It feels like all our classic slashers are coming back. We have Scream next year in January. We have Chucky this October. Michael Myers in October. Yo. We living good. As well as don't be forgetting to hit that like button and subscribe for all the great movie content I bring your way. Some things I want to say before side flick though, stay tuned later today because there will be dropping a new Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer, so I do plan to do a breakdown for that video. So definitely make sure to subscribe to watch that. But let's go ahead and dive into our first story here. Let's start off a little light and easy with something I found kind of fun, but isn't too huge, is we have our first set photo for Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Peyton Reed, the director of this movie, went ahead and took to his Twitter to let us know that day one of principal photography, even showing us a little Easter egg to the very first Ant-Man movie. Now, if you don't recognize what this little ugly thing is, it was a toy that Scott Lang gave to his daughter Cassie in the first Ant-Man movie for her birthday.
Can I open it now?
Of course, sweetheart. It's your birthday.
You are my bestest friend.
He's so ugly. I love him.
Absolutely one of my favorite lines from the first movie. Also, with the Loki series now being done, I think a lot of people are really looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantammania because Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, is the main villain for that one. I know it's one of the reasons I'm mainly looking forward to this movie, but also this gives us a good hint to what the movie's going to be about other than the villain, is it will be a whole Cassie Lang and Scott Lang story where Cassie Lang is older. She's going to be played by Catherine Newton, and a big part of it is that she will want to be a superhero just like her dad, and of course her dad is not gonna want that, is gonna be against it, but she still eventually has to become a superhero because Marvel wants to set up them Young Avengers movie. Still, just something cool I wanted to bring your guys' attention. How do you feel about the first set photo of Ant-Man 3, and are you looking forward to it? Something else that definitely got me excited yesterday is we got the announcement of a new live action Pokemon series in the works with Netflix. Variety was the one to have this exclusive, and there are some big ramifications with us now knowing that Pokemon is going to Netflix, because if you didn't know, previously Pokemon was owned by Warner Brothers. They are the ones who came out with the Detective Pikachu movie, and we are all just sitting here waiting for Detective Pikachu 2 because I like that first movie. I wouldn't mind a sequel. But just like Warner Brothers lost the Lego franchise to Universal, meaning we'll never get to see Lego Batman 2 or the Lego Movie 3 with Chris Pratt's Emmett, because now Universal is going to be making their own Lego movies separate. Netflix now seems to have the rights to be able to make Pokemon content, and that means Detective Pikachu is dead, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't want to break it to y'all. But now getting back to what Netflix is planning to do with this. So this will be live action, so that's awesome, and it is said to be done by the same person who developed Lucifer, Joe Henderson. I actually am a watcher of the Lucifer series, and I quite enjoyed that, so that gives me a little more faith into this show. But as far as story details or what we can expect to see, they say sources also say that the project would be a live-action series akin to Detective Pikachu, film starring Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith that was released in 2019. That really doesn't give us too much to go off. I think what that basically just means is that you're going to have human characters and you're going to have the CGI Pokemon creatures. Maybe they'll go ahead and make Ash Ketchum the lead. They could make an original idea of a young Pokemon trainer going out and about and then just have him training through different gyms. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do in the Pokemon world, and Netflix has that money to spend, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. How are you guys feeling on the Pokemon live action series, and what would you want the show to be about? Moving on to something that Disney is currently working on, in the same way that Disney is currently making live action remakes to everything they own, they are also wanting to turn all their original theme parks into movies. Just like how they had a big bang success with the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise spanning multiple sequels, and now them banking a lot of money into the Jungle Cruise franchise with The Rock and Emily Blunt, which I actually just finished watching like 30 minutes ago and gonna have a review for you guys very soon. got some kind of nice things to say about it. Which was also kind of the reason I wanted to bring this up, because it gives me a little more faith into what Disney's wanting to do in turning theme park rides into movies, and that is with the Haunted Mansion ride. This isn't the first time that Disney has made a Haunted Mansion movie. Let's not forget the Eddie Murphy one, but even I as a kid did not enjoy that movie that much. Here we have our first details of what they're wanting to do with the new movie. This is all coming exclusively from the Illuminati, and they have it here that the film will go as Gabby, a single mother and her young son recently purchased a New Orleans estate at an auction, only to discover it isn't quite as empty as they expected. Gabby hires a grieving widower who works as a ghost tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a local historian to exorcise the vengeful spirit from the Haunted Mansion. They even go on to mention that Disney is currently looking at Tiffany Haddish to play this sort of psychic that'll be reading the spirits in the house, so you can definitely see that they're going in a comedic route. And then another character they have in mind is Lakeith Stanfield, who is an actor I really respect and love a lot of his work. He's set to be playing this paranormal investigator who, after he lost his wife, is no longer a believer in the paranormal, and I guess when he gets involved with the Haunted Mansion, he'll become a believer again. Like I said, before I watched the Jungle Cruise movie, I would have said, I don't really care how you're really gonna turn a theme park into a movie, but then again, Pirates of the Caribbean, several movies, billions of dollars, and now having seen the quality of Jungle Cruise, I'm like, yo, let's give it a shot. Let's see if it's any good. How are you guys feeling on these details involved with the Haunted Mansion movie? But if we are talking about haunted locations and stuff that needs to be exorcised, we are going to be talking about the Exorcist franchise, because man, Blumhouse and Universal just pulled out a whole bunch of money for a damn trilogy. It was kind of big news, and it was reported that Universal went ahead and spent $400 million to make the next Exorcist trilogy. Now, this is all coming courtesy of the New York Times. I'm gonna do my best to break down this information, but it is rather confusing. So the $400 million isn't even the budget for the Exorcist movies. They're not gonna divide that $400 million into 3 different movies, and then we're all gonna get $133 million Exorcist films. From what it sounds like, that's just what Universal paid for the rights and the ownership to be able to use the Exorcist franchise and make 3 movies out of it. We had already been hearing for weeks that Blumhouse was the one to make the Exorcist reboot. They even got David Gordon Green, the man who directed Halloween 2018 and is directing Halloween Kills, which gave me a lot of faith in the project, and they even hinted at that the new series would be a direct sequel to the original Exorcist, kind of ignoring all these other sequels. Well, now it looks like that's definitely what they're going to do with this new trilogy, because in the details here, they not only mention that the original actress who was in the first Exorcist movie, who played the mother, Ellen Burstyn, will be returning for this new film. So I guess you can technically call her the Jamie Lee Curtis for the Exorcist franchise. And our new lead character will be Leslie Odom Jr., who it says here he will play the father of a possessed child desperate for help. He tracks down Miss Bernstein's character. Suffice it to say, Satan is not thrilled to see her again. Oh, I don't think that's that bad of a plot and works out well. If you have an exorcist child, and the most famous exorcism that happened in your universe is this situation that happened back in the 70s, yeah, to save my kid, I would want to go back to that woman and say, please help me. And then she gets dragged into it again. Satan recognizes her as like, I could see something going down here. But the other interesting details about this arrangement, it says here in the article that only the first movie is looking to be a theatrical release. With some details saying here, the first film in the trilogy is expected to arrive in theaters in late 2023. Under the terms of the deal, the second and third film could debut on Peacock, according to one of the people briefed on the matter. And that kind of opens our eyes to what we could see Hollywood doing in the near future here, where its streaming services are just the future, guys. Like, everything that's coming out now is eventually headed to a streaming service or is going to be made for a streaming service. And this is a new strategy that we're seeing here, where they say, we're going to make a trilogy. First film will hit theaters, will become widely known to the public. And if you want to see the other 2 movies in that trilogy, you gotta sign up for Peacock in our streaming service, man. And you know what? If that first Exorcist movie is good and I want to see the rest of that trilogy, I'll sign up for that month of Peacock just to watch it. But the other part of me is also like, yeah, The Exorcist is a legendary horror franchise, I don't really know if you could already bank $400 million on a whole damn trilogy, and 2 of those movies are going to streaming. A lot of interesting things are happening in streaming services with horror movies. Like Jason Blum already confirmed that Paranormal Activity 7 is finished and set to release this year on Paramount Plus. And even this year also, we're getting the Amazon series of I Know What You Did Last Summer that I'm super excited for coming this October. Those are just 2 quick things I wanted to definitely mention, but like horror fans, we are winning lately. Let me know your guys' opinions on this Exorcist trilogy that Universal and Blumhouse are working on. But okay, now speaking about horror fans definitely winning, we have a major update going on with the Friday the 13th franchise. Just to quickly fill you guys in, the reason I was mentioning that the Friday the 13th franchise is almost a rare occasion when we get some news is because the Jason Voorhees character has been in a long legal battle where the original writer of Friday the 13th, Victor Miller, is suing Horror Inc., the company who owns the Friday the 13th name, saying that it's been 35 years and a copyright law says after 35 years the original creator can take ownership of that property back. But Horror Inc. argues that he wasn't the one to come up with the idea, he was just a hired writer for it. Plus, the person that Jason Voorhees was in that very first Friday the 13th movie is not the Jason we all admire today with the hockey mask and the machete. Either way, quick story, until this legal battle is resolved and the courts decide who gets the rights to Friday the 13th, we ain't seeing a movie, we ain't seeing nothing. But today, thanks to MovieWeb.com, who has the exclusive on this, they were doing an interview with Corey Feldman, who is an original star of the Friday the 13th franchise. He played the character Tommy in Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, one of the better Friday the 13th movies in my opinion, and this is what he had to say during that interview.
And interesting enough, some guy came up to me at a party, this is true, 2 weeks ago, and said he has resolved the rights issues. He's a lawyer, and he's resolved the rights issues around Friday the 13th, and that things are working out, and now they'll finally be able to start making Friday the 13th movies again. Off the record, because I can't tell you who it was that said this to me, but I was told that by somebody.
That is the biggest and most credible update that we've gotten in a long time, and kind of cool to know, if you believe him, that they are now able to start work on a Friday the 13th movie, because it was only just a couple of months ago that reliable scooper Daniel Richmond told the public that a new Friday the 13th movie was in the works, and since this scooper has been right on a lot of stuff, I believed him at the time, and now knowing that the rights have been resolved, it could actually be happening in the background. And yo, the next time there's Friday the 13th is August 13th. That'd be a great time to announce it. But still, like I said, we have to take it with a grain of salt, because even though this is an actor, has been involved with the franchise, also has Hollywood connections, it could have just been a lawyer lying, he could have misrepresented the information, but this is still way more reliable than some random scooper online. It's actually someone involved with the franchise, who I think he is telling the truth and not just lying to lie. So Friday the 13th fans, we might be able to start getting a little excited here. I want to know from you guys, do you take Corey Feldman's word for it? What do you think Jason Voorhees should get? Should he get a new movie where they maybe follow the Halloween Kills route and make a direct sequel to one of the previous Friday the 13th films? Or should they keep doing that CW show that was in the works? Yep, the CW was going to make a Friday the 13th series. But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos. Don't forget to come back and watch my breakdown for the new Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. You guys are the absolute best. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.